Okay, I got sheets up, I got rules up, I got Roll20 up, I got the recording thing working. We're good to go in this. The real question is what you're going to do now you have a fucking psychopath in your midst.
Is it any different than normal, though?
I mean, maybe not for you.
No, well, yes, so it makes no difference.
But we were at the toll house. You had came in, slaughtered the guards that were there, and it turns out they were actually, official guards that were supposed to be there. Slaughtered the guards that might have been able to help you. You'd seen another patrol, which may have been more guards. I think we said by the looks of the sled and the dogs and stuff, it looked like that had been the case, because there was like a trail. But they got killed. You stay overnight. You use their supplies to restock your supplies, and also as the supplies for making camp here overnight. I think we ended on someone doing a tell a tale, which was staying overnight in the toll house. So it will be the next morning, and at this moment 4 days have passed of your timer.
What was our total timer? 2 weeks, you said?
At least 2 weeks.
Okay.
But we did the avalanche, so we may or may not have.
You may have gave yourself more time, yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, you definitely gave the village more time.
We are still going to the hole, right?
That's completely up to you guys as the morning breaks. During the night, the wind picks up, the snow comes in, winter is really hitting full force now. When you wake up in the morning, there's another several inches of snow on the ground. Any tracks that were there have been covered, making it a little easier for you to disguise the fact that you've been here.
So I think the original plan was to hit Corgan, because that's like another town on the way. We can stop there, maybe try to get like more manpower or help or something, and then go to the hole for money purposes.
And I don't know how well you've slept knowing that there's someone capable of just like killing people in their sleep like this.
Not well at all. Did you not hear my reaction when he killed him and I was watching? I flipped out. Like, why would you do that?
Yes, I was at a loss for words.
Slept like a baby.
No, wait, let's, if we're gonna, how do I, Is it bad that I just want to write sorry over the mantle place before we leave?
No, we were never here. None of this ever happened. It was obviously the work of bandits.
Since we went down afterwards, I assume it'll happen.
Yes, so you still have the sled and the dogs, and if you were to make the journey east to Corgan, it would be about 3 days' journey. You do have the handful of weapons and armaments from the guards that were slain, and you've effectively filed the serial numbers off.
Do they have any? Do they have like an armory at all of like other weapons and armor?
There's space here that would be an armory, but obviously it's not stocked. It's been emptied. Perhaps they were in the process of emptying it.
So because my thought was if they had like an actual like armory of like additional quivers of arrows and bows and shit like that, to send it up north back to the village for extra armaments.
Yeah, and
that
was
also
that was the thinking. But this has been, this place has been empty for a while, and whatever reason they were back here for, it certainly wasn't to restock.
What about the mining equipment? Isn't that what the teaching said? They kept the mining equipment here too, but when the village was still mining.
No, it was the weapons you were coming here to look for. It wasn't the equipment.
Oh, okay. I thought I remember him saying something about that. Well, on to Corgan we go.
All right then. I should be doing the cartographer role, shouldn't I?
If that's who's leading the direction, sure.
We are not having the old man do it again.
You know what I'm going to beat straight.
What's your scouting skill, by the way?
Oh, my scouting skills too.
Obviously, the old man needs to get lost as soon as they tell a story.
Actually, scout is higher than my cartographer. I should probably use that instead.
Well, scouting applies if you're in enemy territory. So if
we just killed the guards, so we no longer.
I think we've turned everything into enemy territory now.
If you were going into the bandit lands, like if you were going south, I would say scouting. But to go east is not actually into the into
Then
the
I will do this. No, I'm not
Never any-
refreshed. I'm not fresh.
Is the party prepared? Have you all got full supplies?
I mean, we took their supplies, and I think it was like a total of 2 that we picked up or something like that
Yeah.
per person.
Does anyone have any supplies marked off?
It
do.
seems I left it marked there, though I don't know if I had more marked and I didn't take it off.
I mean, if any are marked, you're not going to be prepared.
I have
I
gear
don't,
marked
I
off.
don't remember why I had supplies marked. That was more like it. I'm going to assume there was a reason and not wander about it.
So then, no.
That might
party's
work
not
with your
yet.
scout, by the way. I was going to say.
Was that?
When I say when doing the scout for like finding the areas, you've got a trait, any trait that helps boost it.
Oh yeah, if you have a trait that applies when you're doing your cartography. Cartographer.
Stoic never complains about hardship, but can be emotionally remote and difficult to love.
I don't think Stoic really applies for reading the map and pointing direction. Okay,
I
you're
think
going.
that would help you deal with the killing, though.
You're never
Oh,
gonna let
yeah,
that go,
so-
are you?
So you marked a stress, Dave. What's your character's
Yeah.
name again?
Edwin.
So Edwin would have marked a stress for seeing people killed, but your stoic could apply to that, and you could not take a stress for that.
Okay.
So you can restore that one.
Okay, so I just have 1 fatigue.
Okay, so the journey will take more than 1 day, so that's going to drop a dice from your dice pool. But other than that,
Wonderful. I
but-
have like new dice.
okay, yeah. So you got 1 dice for the journey. This will go well.
You could
Yep.
Still gets 2 successes though, which is a full success.
full success.
Right, so yeah, it's going to take 3 days. Everyone's going to mark a fatigue. And probably over the 3 days, you're always watching the horizon, looking out to the trees and the hills along the road, in case you bump into these other guards that you know are out there somewhere. But 3 days pass, and you see Corgan on the horizon of the morning of the 3rd. Without any incident, without anyone creeping up on you, without anyone declaring that they're here to avenge the death of the other guards. You seem to have made it away clear and clean.
How many supplies do we mark off for the travel? I can't remember anymore. If it's 1 supply or is it?
No, it's just a one fatigue gets marked.
Yeah, it's just fatigue. It's assumed that
Oh.
you can gather supplies and stuff like that as you're traveling as well.
You only mark supplies when we make camp, or if you're trying
Yeah.
to lower your fatigue.
Or if something goes wrong.
I remember for one reason that we used to use supplies for it. Maybe one of the older rules.
Yeah, it was, but it was too much bookkeeping, I think.
A guy who can persuade people is also the guy that just killed everybody in the old whorehouse.
That was bandits that killed them. We were never there. We came there after.
He was very persuasive.
Okay, here it is. When you finally reach your journey's end, or end abruptly, everyone marks 1 supply for every day, so you'll mark 3 supplies.
Oh shit. Okay.
Could I try to roll cooking to see if we can save some supplies by like rationing or something?
Well, I think we did rolls based on like
Cooking is for when you're
survival.
making camp. You can like forage and stuff like that before you set out. So everyone's going to mark 3. If you cannot mark 3 for some reason, then you can mark fatigue, stress, or cold in place of it. But if you have 3 supplies, you have to mark 3 supplies. And on the morning of the 3rd day, we are at Corgan. So this is a small village surrounded by hills to the north. You can see the mountains of the Elber lands to the south looming up from the horizon. We can probably see... Is there smoke that comes out of Skullgir's hole? Is that something we talked about? I know there's a waterfall for going into it.
I think it was just a giant hole. There's no smoke.
Okay,
coming
so
out
there's
of
no
it.
sign of that to the north. And you can probably see a distance north of the town, a mile out or something, the infamous haunted cemetery. It's this vast necropolis, which once belonged to a larger settlement that was here, and it was put down in place of where this historical battle happened hundreds of years ago. And you've all heard the rumours and tales of the dead arising from there at night and such. But the village itself is small, it's right at the crossroads here between what used to be the old barony and of course the it's another settlement that's in decline. You know, the money has gone out of the region, the trade has dried up. This is just a handful of people eking out survival on the few coins they can get from the occasional traveller or merchant that comes this way. You can see the buildings that have been boarded up and abandoned. You can see the old inn that's been all boarded up and abandoned. It's been hollowed out, all the furniture and everything's been ripped out. There's no need for it anymore because there's no one staying here overnight anymore. There's just a small tavern which, like in your village, serves a handful of people who still survive here. And then a few hamlets on the outskirts of town which are, I suppose they make their money from like fishing and such on the little streams and rivers that run off from the mountains to the south. So once you get here to Corgan, what do you want to do?
I'm going in town and hopefully gonna find someone before our guy fucking murders another person.
Well, obviously we're entering a town. We've got to go find the leader of the town, so we can let them know that we're here. It's only polite.
I don't know about letting them know we're here, but we do need to find the leader so we can tell them what's happening and maybe get help. That sounds like a better plan.
That's exactly what I said.
Yes, of course. Whatever you say.
Okay, I mean, there's like I said, there's a handful of homes that still have like smoke coming from the chimneys with the fires burning inside. It's like dogs tied up outside in the kennels, some of the buildings. And these are the only really signs of life as you approach.
Who's got the biggest house that still has smoke coming out of it?
One building will be more of a small long house, which would be the chieftain's.
Yeah, is there like what's the word I'm looking for? Like an inn kind of building, like a place that looks like a mead hall or an
Yeah, there'll be a tavern.
tavern.
Yeah, there'll be a tavern.
Well, like any good fantasy story, let's go there first. And
You-
no killing the innkeeper.
Icicles and snow kind of obscure the name of the tavern, but you can see hanging. There's like a picture of an owlbear's head. You step inside, and the warmth after 3 days out in the cold is extremely welcoming as you step inside. There's not more than a handful of people in here, including the barkeep himself. He's a very stern-looking, dark-haired man with a big, thick, bushy beard and mustache. A frail set of little glasses perched on his big nose.
Just sidle on up to the bar, rest the forearm on there, and just give him the most dead-eyed stare and go, "You know where I can find the headman?
The headman?
Your elder, your chief, your mayor, whatever you want to call him."
Oh, the chief. Yeah, he's in the long village, the long house at the end of the village street here.
Just nod once slowly and then turn around and leave.
What about the rest of you?
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
I probably would have been headed to the longhouse from the get-go.
I'm gonna follow him in, get a drink, and then after I get a drink, follow him out to the longhouse.
Two other
I'd say Marcus is buying my drink. I'm pointing Marcus, he pays for my drink.
The two other figures in the bar are just like sat in the corner, eating like bread and soup. They don't say anything. They immediately stop talking when you walk in, and just keep eyeing you until you are full left again.
What a cheery and welcoming place, isn't it?
Stepping outside, you can see the longer building at it's kind of central to the village, at the end of this one street. And it has like shields and stuff on the side of the walls. You can see the sled that's up against the door, covered in snow, and smoke coming out of the chimney. And an old woman kind of shuffles her way out of the building and goes off to the left just as you approach. She tries to throw you a weak smile as she goes by you.
I would return the gesture.
Stand there as she clearly struggles to wade her way through the snow.
Marcus, being the good Samaritan that he is, would offer to help her make her way towards her house.
Dear Lord, he's a psychopath.
No, it says, I'm okay, son. Thank you for offering.
Oh, it's no problem.
It's good to see some new faces around here for once.
We have to help each other out in these cold and dark lands.
Yes, it's a trying time, but it's good to see that the spirit of the North is still within the young people.
Of course, of course. And
One
I'll
thing
turn and make
to-
my way towards the longhouse with the others.
What do you think?
Saying get off Buster because he thinks someone's called him a young man.
I mean, clearly not talking to you, but yeah.
I don't think he cares. He's crazy, just like his son.
It's crazy. Okay, so he's walked up to the longhouse, knocking the door, walking in. Yeah. So the man that answers has sort of dirty blonde hair, and it's all tied back around back of his skull. He's not very tall, very sort of average height, just sort of like eye level with most of you. And I would describe him as frail, but he's a very lean man. He's not broad-shouldered. He's not got a kind of burly figure or anything like that. Doesn't look particularly muscular. Just very kind of lean, thin-looking guy. But yeah, he opens it up and he welcomes you. You can see his like blue eyes shine between the tufts of blonde eyebrows that are kind of hanging down. You can't be more than sort of late 40s. It's a bit younger than you might have expected. So help you,
Guess I'd,
gentlemen.
I guess I'd offer my hand like a handshake.
Aye,
My name's Jordan. We come from the village in the mountain pass north of here.
Noig Village.
Oh, of course, from Norg. And he like shakes your hand. He's got a very firm grip. I'm Argumenter, chief of this little village. Please, come in.
And I go.
You step in, there's a roaring fire. There's a fair-haired woman who's like sat in the corner sewing with a small child playing beside her. And there's like furs hanging from the walls all over the place. You can see trophies of game that's been hunted, bears, stags and such. And the smell of cooking is rich in the air as you step inside. Like, Alice, we have guests. And he like motions towards a table for you to sit at. She puts down her sewing and she gets up and starts like serving you a broth that's boiling over the fire. Oh, it's not often that we have visitors. What brings you guys south?
Dire news, I'm afraid.
Oh, really?
Dire news.
Oh,
Indeed, it's very dire news.
Was that the old man who said it like that?
no.
God damn. I was gonna look at everybody kind of weirdly. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you
all
do
eat
look
the
at
same
you.
thing.
Obviously, anyway. So there's an awkward pause, the kind of way it's like, so what is this dire news that you've brought us?
There's a horde of gnolls coming from the wildlands, headed south.
Oh. And you're here to warn us, to protect us, to provide us aid?
More to ask for aid.
They flash a look of concern at each other's faces. Okay. In what manner?
So we blocked the mountain pass, but that'll only slow them down for a little bit. We're trying to build fortifications in our village, but we don't have a lot of manpower. Not a lot of young people.
Yes, we are. We suffer from a similar problem here in our village, of course. There's only the elderly that are really left behind, and those who are unable to afford to go anywhere. If it's manpower you seek, I'm not sure we are going to be much of use to you.
Even if we build our fortifications and we protect ourselves, the horde will probably just go around us. So even if you can't help us, you probably should think about leaving.
The young child starts like crying, and the mother goes over to tend to him.
But I'm sure that even if they do end up going around us, great and prolific hunter as yourself could definitely fend them off.
Well, if your entire village just fails to stop them, if there's a horde as you say it is, then I'm not sure there's much choice we have either way here. This is
Well-
indeed dire news. We've struggled on for so long here to try and keep this place going in the hopes that fortunes would turn around once more, but perhaps this is it.
If you people could make the trip to our village, safety in numbers, and if we do somehow manage to weather it, then you guys can obviously come back here.
Considers for a moment, shaking his head. I'm not sure many of those that are left here would be able to make such a journey. It would certainly be difficult for them given the weather and the cold.
I'm just not sure there's really a choice.
No, of course, of course. Okay, well, something we need to lend consideration to.
Right? Obviously, I'm
It's an
not
undead army.
gonna force you guys to do anything, but
The mention of undead, you know, his face kind of whitens for a moment. You can see him visibly trying to like calm himself before continuing. Why would you say such a thing, old man?
he's saying
How from Scarlet used to be known as control of having the most powerful army using the undead to save up its from invaders in the past.
Those are nothing but tall tales. No such event has ever happened here, I can assure you.
I'm sure I remember something. I'm sure I remember something about this.
don't worry about the old man. He's a little crazy. We can take him along because he unfortunately does know a little magic.
We want to see magic. I can show you a bit of magic.
The man kind of
Not
reaches
when
for
we're
a
inside.
dagger in his belt as you're talking about magic and stuff.
Magic aside, one of our compatriots had an idea. What about using the Skulker's hole to lure the horde into a trap?
Loosens the grip on the dagger he was reaching for, and like takes a step further away from the old man. Yes, that could be a possibility. Skullgirl's hole is indeed large, and anything that fell into it would not return.
We would just need one exceptionally fast individual to, once the horde gets near the mountains, to leave a trail of game or bait leading towards the hole.
Do you think you
Okay,
could?
you
Do you think you could
you
trick?
still
Do you think you could trick a herd of such size to follow such meager bait?
I'm sure that, like most animals, they follow. They have one. If one starts going off in a different direction, the rest will follow. Gnolls aren't known for their intelligence.
even so, I don't think they'll just blindly run into a giant hole in the ground.
Yes, and the Skullgirls is far too large to be covered or concealed in any foreseeable way. But perhaps the plan is not totally without merit. Although I cannot personally conceive of a way that you would be able to disguise it until the appropriate moment.
Well, like our elder here said, he is very proficient in magic. Perhaps he could place an illusion over the hole.
I'm afraid magic is forbidden in these lands. It's something I must insist upon strongly. There have been unfortunate incidents in the past, and we do not permit its use.
But dire times require dire measures, don't they?
You're,
Could
you're
I,
still you're still putting your hope into an old man who's crazy. You think he's gonna know to cast an illusion spell at the right time?
Well, like all things in life, it'll be a gamble.
I'd rather not put all my hopes on such a meager gamble.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. But we'll of course have Plan B and a Plan C.
I'd rather that be Plan C or Plan D.
So you're saying we could lure them into the mountains and then hopefully trigger an avalanche while they're passing?
In my mighty power, I remember casting a mighty spell, hid a village for 3 days, and then eventually couldn't find the village again after that. I believe it took us another 4 days to find it afterwards.
But
You lost the village for a whole week.
Good God, why are we trying to lose our own ally by insisting?
I'm not insisting. I'm just saying we can have plans upon plans.
Yes, but in front of him?
Yes, I can see you,
I'm
gentlemen, have a great many ideas and issues you need to discuss among yourselves still. You're welcome to stay in the village today, and join us for a meal later if you want. But if your friend here is going to be a liability in terms of magic, then I'm afraid he will have to leave the village. For the safety of those that remain here, I cannot permit a magic user, especially one who's unstable, to be wandering the streets.
Of course. It's perfectly understandable. We'll, what say you allow us to stay here for the evening, and we'll leave in the morning?
Do you want to give me a roll? Don't need to take fatigue for this one. To do with social persuasion or something.
Would that be a cunning or a bold?
Depends on your approach, really. But I mean, if you're just outright stating it, probably bold. Okay, he agrees to let you stay the night, but again, the magic wielder either has to camp outside the village or stay at the village and have like a guard watch over him the whole time. And he is strictly forbidden from entering the cemetery.
I don't know. Do you think you can agree with that, old man?
Not to go near the cemetery, not to incite the spirit.
So he calls another young man who's no more than his sort of mid-30s. Azel here will be your guide and your guard, just to ensure that no incidents do occur. He like whispers something into Azel's ear. You can see the young man's packing a kind of short sword in his belt. And he does look a lot more kind of athletic built sort of frame.
If everyone else does leave, I would still like to stay and talk to him. Not even like roleplay, just like try to. If he can't help offer us manpower, what do they have that they could help with? You know, I guess just to see what all is here.
Sure. Why don't you give me a roll then?
I don't even have anything persuasion wise or nothing like that, but
I mean, you'll always have one dice and then you may have a trait that applies.
I got defender and rough hands. That's traits.
Do rough hands. You know, you're speaking sort of like man to man with the lands kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, he'd be perfectly willing to lend aid and give you what they can to help. But when he's like showing you around town at the stores they have, the weapons they have stocked, the tools they have stocked, and the people that are living here, it's clear that, you know, at best you get a couple of strong hands, and that's about it. So, you know, it's a little bit of help, and you would have its loyalty, its support, but it's meager. And then, of course, there's the logistics of what happens to all the other people here who do need kind of like watched over, protected. They would need physical help to move around. So if you take away the couple of people that are here that are able-bodied, who's left to help the rest of them? But if you were desperate, you would get a couple of extra hands, yeah.
So I guess I'll leave that down to like we'll try to keep finding help elsewhere, but I guess I'll let him know like really if it comes down to it, they should help us because if not, then everyone's gonna die, not just the old people.
Yeah, and I'm sure they see that. You know, it's sometimes it's just everyone's got to pull together and try to do the best they can.
Yeah. So I guess that I'll let him know like last resort kind of things. So we'll keep looking. Damn, no stockpile of wood or nothing either we could take.
I mean, like I said, they're happy to kind of share what they've got. in return for protection, but they don't actually have much. They are just like barely getting by here no more.
Well, at least we know. Now we can move on.
What about the rest of you? Those are here for the night to the day. What would you like to do?
I would love to rest all of that fatigue off,
Okay, yeah, you just want to lay up for the day. That's perfectly fine.
and also recoup the supplies I've lost because I'm at 4 of 6.
Right. So, do you want to go hunting for supplies then? Because you are the hunter tracker, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you just make a. It's gonna be a dice roll. You will take a fatigue doing it. So you get your one dice, an extra dice if your trait applies. Oh fucking hell! This just took me out. Okay.
So that'll be 5 dice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a 1.
Okay, you managed to get 1 supplies back. You can take a long rest and get 2 fatigue back though.
Okay, I will do that because I am like nearly dead.
I'm gonna look around town, see if I can find any like-minded, shady individuals.
Like-minded, shady individuals.
Why do I have a bad feeling this is going to end in someone else being murdered?
Well, he has a bodyguard now, so I guess that would be who would end up being murdered.
Well, I don't have to stay with the old man and the bodyguard.
No, the bodyguard is escorting us all around, I thought.
Well, the bodyguard is keeping a close eye on what's the old man called? Aaron.
Alright, so I'll lead them both to the bar, and then I guess I'll try to get the bodyguard and the old man both drunk.
I mean, if he's more worried about the magic user, then I'm sure you could just slip away.
Yeah, I mean
Alright,
he's going to refuse the drink. Something has definitely happened here in the past that has them spooked, and he is not willing to risk anything about taking his eye off this old guy.
Of course, I understand perfectly.
And as much as the way Aaron just like goes on about nothing, just rambling on, and he seems like a harmless old man. This guy is just eyeing him hard and suspicious the entire time, as if like he's not buying it. Or maybe the fact that he's old and rambling makes him even more nervous.
Then, young friend, while you are keeping the village safe from this destitute fellow, or vice versa, I'll wander around the village, see if I can find any supplies for our journey. Yes.
Yes, I mean Edwin sets off to go hunt for a couple of hours. You leave Aaron in the tavern with the guard, Azel, and you walk around the town. Again, many of these houses are boarded up, emptied, just kind of like left abandoned. The handful of people that are out during the day going between houses seem to mostly be elderly. There's not more than a dozen people in here. And half of them are definitely like older. There's a couple of younger men, and 2 of them are like very young, just like teenagers. So they've only got like 4 or 5 guys at most who are like men that could actually do something of use and like maintain the place, running the place. It seems to be just a couple of families here with the wives, really.
What about those 2 guys who were in the tavern when we went in there before? Did they seem
They're like old barflies.
So there's probably not very many no bandits hidden in town, are there?
It seems extremely unlikely that this bandit's hiding in town.
Do any of the shuttered buildings seem to have anyone, like signs of people living in them, or?
No,
Squatters?
they look empty. Like they're boarded up. There's no sense of fires or heat or light from the inside. You can probably peer in through the cracks in many of them. You can see inside it's just like barren. There might be like tables and chairs left inside, but that's the extent of it.
I guess I'll head back to the bar and maybe try to strike up a conversation with the barkeeper.
And what were you adding when you get left in the bar? Are you just happy to sit there and drink and tell stories?
Actually, yeah. Well, Although I'm going to see if I can recall when I'm telling through these stories. Can I roll to see if I recall if any of the stories actually make sense about this village, or if I've been here before and just people have forgotten because I'm that old that I've actually.
If you have a skill for it, yes. If not, then you just get 1 dice plus your trait if it applies.
My trait hidden depths.
Hidden depths would
Most
apply, yeah.
forgotten.
Remember, if you're using your trait when you roll a skill, you get an XP.
Right, so two dice then.
2 dice, yeah. As you're sort of recanting, babbling on, and your mind's going through that process of just trying to link memories together to get to the point where it forms a full story, and everybody's having to listen to this process, and it's just like rambling as you're going on for like one thing to another. But you suddenly overcome with feeling of like dread, and like the bottom falling out of your stomach, as the clarity kind of comes to you, and you do remember being at this village before when there was a problem with magic. And you were actually called in here as a group to counteract what it was that was happening. And it was a necromancer had meddled with the souls in the cemetery and had been attempting to raise them. And you were called in with a couple of your comrades back in the day to put down this necromancer. And it caused a great many deaths in the village and the surrounding area. And in fact, you can remember soldiers being sent in from the local barony to help like put down this horde that was being raised. And you can remember the sights and sounds of the dead shambling, the smell of it, people being torn limb to limb by them, and just the horror that it brought about. So you're going to take a stress with that memory.
Let's throw up all of a sudden.
And
I have
as
to run out somewhere quickly just to throw up outside.
yeah, and as you're you're rambling because you're getting to the point and coming up with this story, and everybody can hear it as you're doing it. And as you're getting to the point where you're kind of getting close to it, that's when Azo kind of slams his hand down on the table in front of you. He says, "That's enough, old man. We won't hear any more of your damn tales today."
All right. I just need to go lie down. I need to go lie down for a bit. Can you show me to a room, please? Please, can you show me to a room?
There's a small room in the back of the inn that's just got like hay on the floor. Just showing in there somewhere you can lay down.
Or go down to sleep. I'll practice the map thing. Actually, no, I'm going to cast a spell on myself. Take myself. Yeah, I'm going to cast a small barrier sort of spell around myself. It's just an unknown one.
Right. So, do you want? Well, okay, you can roll for this because if you don't succeed, the guard's going to see you using magic.
I've got 2 in my barrier spell, so it'll be 4 dice then. The initial dice as well.
If you got 2 in the skill, it'll be 3 dice.
I've got Touched by God is a trait.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll apply for just casting a small one.
Nope.
Yes, you begin to like do your small incantations, try to be discreet as you can be, but you did have a couple of drinks and you're a little louder than you mean to be. And the guard like kicks the door open. He just had it like closed over, not fully shut. And he kicks the door open and charges into the room, grabs you by the wrist. It says, "You've been fucking told, old man. That's it." And he starts dragging you by the wrist outside of the tavern.
Calm down. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? What's going on?
He drags you out into the snow and across towards the sort of opening between the buildings in front of the chieftain's lodge. And then he starts shouting, "Argumenter! Argumenter!" And he comes out. "This one was trying to cast magics."
He's trying to rest. I'm trying to rest.
And he steps forward, already hand on the hilt of his dagger. So, "Are you sure about this, Hazel?" He's like, "I seen it with my own damned eyes. He was trying to cast an incantation."
Would I notice this scene happening?
Oh yeah, you would hear the shouting, yeah.
Now. Have you ever seen anyone cast magic before, young man?
So I know it when it happens. I could see the energies in his eyes.
That seems awfully suspicious. How would you recognize magic? Unless... I'm gonna gasp and point to him. Unless you're a magic user.
That's a grievous insult to how many like draws his sword fully. How dare you come into this village and accuse me of such things?
Ah, but aren't you also accusing this old, frail man of the same thing?
Because he was doing
Audacious.
it. I know what I saw. Jordan, I mean, you were getting shown around by the chieftain. You'll be seeing all this as well.
That's a grievous insult you're giving our village elder. Why should I not return it in kind? Obviously, you recognize the telltale signs of magic.
The chieftain turns to you, Jordan. It's like, you and your people were warned. This cannot stand. The old man must go.
Yeah, I think it's best if we just leave. We'll just make camp outside.
Algundar steps over to Azel, tries to calm him down. There's no need to shed blood, my friend. It's a misunderstanding, correct?
Going on.
Man, the old man is, a little. So he just wasn't thinking, but we'll still leave. No need for bloodshed.
No, given the circumstances, this is the last thing we want. He whispers to you, Jordan, as he kind of walks past you again with his guard. That old man is a liability. A dangerous one.
We all do what we have to do, and in times we wouldn't normally do.
About this time, Edwin comes back a little let down that you were able to catch such meagre kind of game. You probably got like a squirrel or something over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And we're
Just-
leaving.
Come back in with my meager earnings and is the old man being crazy again?
Well, I mean, without anyone there to watch him to make sure he wasn't gonna do magic, it was only a matter of time until he tried to do magic.
Okay, who's gonna volunteer to be old man minder now?
Oh, we'll have to just leave. We'll make camp outside the village, outside the town.
Edwin looks longingly at the warm house that he just rested in.
Just sigh.
Maybe instead of letting us go out into the cold snow and freeze to our deaths, why not just cordon us off in one of these abandoned houses on the edge of town? That way, in case the elder has an episode, no one else will be in danger
What?
except for us.
Abandoned houses. Please don't tell me that they were recently abandoned.
So the guys, they look at you for a moment, and
Should I roll perception?
Argmundar just nodded his head. Yes, very well. Azel, take them to the old Hammond's place. They can rest there. It's suitably far away from the rest of us. It shouldn't pose any threat.
Ah, what a benevolent chief you are.
He leaves a gaze at you for a second longer than it would be normal before he turns and walks aside. Azel begrudgingly is going to lead you all to like a farmstead on the outer edge of town. Probably like a quarter mile out from the centre. And just indicate that to you. It's this dilapidated building with like a hole in the roof, filled with snow in the interior. It's not much, but you can certainly make a shelter of it for the night. There should still be some firewood in there somewhere.
And if not, I'm sure we can turn some of this building into firewood if we need.
We would not destroy one of your houses.
Someone already did that for us, don't worry.
With one last like hardened look, hardened stare at Aaron, he turns and leaves. So it's like an old farmhouse. It's definitely seen better days. The door seems to seal You're able to pull some of the planks off the windows if you want to open the shutters. Like I said, there's a hole in the thatched roof. There'll be like some birds nesting inside. And obviously a great deal of the snow has kind of like came in through the ceiling at various points and frozen over in there. But there is a fireplace, and you do find a small stock of firewood that's been left in a little shed out by the side.
How big are the birds that are nesting inside?
They're not large. It's like
Do they
regular
have-
crusade.
Do they have eggs in the nest?
Not this time of year, no. They'll just be flapping around as you enter the building.
I'll look over at Edwin's the hunter, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we could make a meal out of those?
Can I identify them? And why do I have this sinking feeling that they're like the town's mascot or something?
That would be interesting if you totally fuck up your roll. But yeah, give me a roll for Hunter.
Sure, it's, let me check. 3 dice. Okay.
There's certainly a species that is edible, but not particularly tasty.
Yeah, just look and go, I mean, you could eat them. I wouldn't if I were you.
You're probably right. It's for the best. So, what do
Yeah.
you know about the cemetery? Didn't you say there was a artifact that could control all the undead inside of it?
What? No. When was that ever
I'm
It's for
mentioned?
necromancer.
Pretty sure Aaron rambled on about that at some point.
You actually listen to what he says?
What I tell you is always true.
Of course, he's a seasoned wizard. He would never lie. He might get the facts wrong, but he wouldn't lie about it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Back in my days, and I was, what was it I named? I had a different name then. Well, Lantoff the Great. That's what my name was at the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to break out a tale about the cemetery stuff, you may want to save that for the campfire. If you just want to make camp.
Save that for them then.
But yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else particularly you just want to do here today, I would suggest making camp.
Yeah, I'm ready to make camp. I'm ready to move on to the next spot. There's no real help to be had here.
Okay, so it is sheltered. Who wants to make camp? Who's got skills for it?
I
Really?
do.
Do we make camp even though we're in town? Like, do we roll for that still?
You will here at this spot, yes.
Damn it, old man.
If you got to stay like in town, you wouldn't have needed to. But he fucked that up for you.
Yeah.
So it's whoever, it's a scout, survivalist, those kind of skills, whoever's kind of preparing the area and clearing it out.
I will make an attempt with
I got
my
engine.
grand total of 3 dice.
I got engineering. Does that? Can I use that to help?
You'll get an extra dice for being sheltered. Is that 1?
And if I
Yeah.
can help, I guess with engineering, I will also help. So he gets an extra.
I guess, yeah, because the structure, yeah, you could do that.
All right. So you get 5 dice.
Brilliant.
Wait, what? What the hell just happened?
Well, you only got 1 over everything. So that's going to mean that someone will have to take watch. But also, your person who does cooking can cook if you want to try and restore extra fatigue for everyone.
I will keep
Alright.
watch because I'm gonna have trouble sleeping anyways.
Alright, I'll cook everyone a delicious meal.
Yeah, mind you, you get an extra dice because it's sheltered.
I guess
Oh,
I can
thank
roll
you.
another dice.
Yes.
Maybe you'll get a crit success. No.
You jinxed it.
Right, so you can all restore your choice of fatigue or stress. You'll get 2 because you got 2 hits. So you can restore 2 fatigue, 2 stress, or 1 of each before anything else.
I mean, I can take watch. I don't have any fatigue or anything.
I have no fatigue either, so I'm good to take watch.
All right.
I ain't letting you stay awake while I sleep.
Why? What could go wrong?
Everything. Everything could go wrong.
So anyone who wants to can spend one of their supplies in order to rest, relax, or or reheat to get one of those back. Otherwise, you're all going to restore 1 fatigue. And then the person, and then someone can tell a tale, and then we'll take what.
I believe the old man had a tale about the village or the cemetery.
That comes into.
So what's your tale, Aaron?
And by my youth, I mean, no name, many names, I'm sure. I remember the name Barnoff being one of them. It was one time I was at this very village, and my mighty party were my skill, and the mighty four great wizards were called forth from the great lords of the kingdom to solve the most dangerous and evilest of problems. One of which I remember was fighting a great necromancer who tried to take over the frozen lands using armies of the undead of great wars and battles. He was almost successful. He found it using, I believe, some sort of mythic skull of a creature that was known to be able to raise or control the undead. He brought forth great power in controlling the army using this form. I wish I could remember how I fully defeated him. I remember we cast a spell to stop him from accessing forward any further forward. I believe it was the Great Barrier of Elements we used, and it kept his horde in control, which gave us enough time to defeat him. But I cannot remember what happened to the artifact after that point.
And which trait do you want to take for this tale?
Let's see. That's what I was trying to figure out, the trait that can add to the story.
You can pick that. Everyone else except Drac is going to restore another fatigue.
I thankfully no longer have my clocks filled.
Yeah.
I just need my my gear and supplies to be unfucked up.
Do you think we should attempt to find this artifact? Maybe it could help us in our defense of the from the Gnoll horde.
Where do you find joy and solace of knowing that I have done stuff good in the past and that I do remember that I was great and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what trait to get from that yet still. That's the next part I'm looking at.
Well, you can browse that while he's doing this. Yeah, Jordan's whichever skill you think you could use for keeping watch, keeping guard overnight.
I have no skills unless it
Okay, so
isn't, maybe.
all right, so you've got one for defender, right? So that'll give you 2 dice.
So I got labor 2, and then I got defender. So I don't know if labor would apply
Yeah,
or
your
not.
your default dice and then defender, I think.
Okay. Give me what? 3.
Why would you have 3? I mean, you didn't get any successes anyway. But
Yeah, no. I thought so. You get the 1 dice, and then I had. I was adding an extra. I was adding an extra dice. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 0 successes is that
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, so you are obviously not able to rest anyway, so you decide to take upon yourself to kind of patrol the building, sit outside now and again, but you know, the night is cold and extremely bitter, and you
And
have a
I'm
nice,
not good at this.
and there's a nice fire going inside, so you're like, screw it. You know, this village has been fine for who knows how long. It's not going to matter if I just like go in a bit early and try and get myself warmed up. So you go back inside the building and just peer out through the cracks now again into the darkness, just to make sure that there's nothing, you know, approaching. You're all awoken suddenly from the sound of like wood crashing, being broken. Standing in the middle of the room with you, cold wind blowing in from behind it, is this tall, ragged figure, and it's a skeleton draped just very loosely in torn, old, decayed clothing, with just a slight amber glow in its eye sockets. And it wakes you all with this crashing as it breaks down through the door. What do you all do?
I'm gonna react on reflex, and as soon as it hear the crashing, I'm gonna flip out of the bed and try to throw a knife at it.
Make a roll, mark of fatigue. Where are you throwing a knife as well?
Towards its spine.
Okay.
Would either of my traits work for it?
If you think they apply. What are they?
Cunning and bold. I thought cunning would work, but I feel like cunning would work better if it was.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes they can act against you, but I think bold
Yeah,
would
cool.
probably work. So you're already marking a fatigue. I'm going to say mark another stress. Or you could, yeah, I think it's take a stress probably. You throw a knife at it. The knife hits it successfully, but just, I mean, it strikes the bone of the backbone, the spine, and then clutters to the floor. The thing turns its head slowly towards you and begins to like walk in your direction.
I guess since I was on watch and I was the most awake, I guess when it started walking towards him, maybe I would grab, I don't know, a stick out of the fire and hit it with it.
Yep.
I don't have weapons, so
Yep. That sounds reasonable enough. Your defender trait will also come into it again.
would anything else work for me?
Do you have anything else related to like improvised melee combat?
Okay, blacksmith, stonesmith, carpenter, or stonemason, and labor. Only I can think of would be labor, just because I'm used to using.
Pure strength. I'll give you that as just heft and strength, sure.
So 2 defender would be 3, and then you get the free 1, 4. Is that right?
You get 1 for defender because it's just your trait.
So I got 2 for labor, 1 for defender.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
free
yeah,
one. Okay, so 4.
Yes, after the dagger like strikes it and like scatters to the ground, you grab a big thick log that's like the end of it's all glowing embers and fire, and just like drive it as hard as you can into the face of the skeleton, smashing the skull, and the whole thing just like crumples as a pile of bones to the ground.
And then I think I'll be scared shitless after that.
You could blast this with magic. Jordan, can I blast it with magic?
I don't think I'll answer you. I think I'll be too shocked that there's an actual fucking skeleton in here.
I think it's already dead. I'm gonna go over and pick up my dagger and poke it, nudge it with my foot.
Yeah, it just seems like old bones and rags.
It's with that skeleton, that story I was telling you about. The time when I got a big army, the armies of them. Although they're not supposed to be able to get out.
Ah, I'm back now.
I want to move to collect some of the fragments and dust from him shattering its skull and put it in a little pouch.
Okay, you scoop up some of the fragments of skull and put them in the pouch. Yeah.
I'm thinking some 2 traits need to feel out with side bits. I'm thinking, by the way, withered sight, possibly. Brave, basically. Because never hesitate to face danger and they also fight from unknown things, basically.
Yeah, sounds fine.
And withered sight also because of magic, obviously attacking magic in a sense. So I wasn't sure which one to take.
I mean, whichever you just think's more applicable. But yes, the skeleton smashed thanks to Jordan's sheer physique in ploughing the big stick into his brain. Or his skull.
Skull. I don't think it had a vein.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Shatter it
I'm
and yes, leave it as just a pile of bones and rags.
Yeah, I'm not getting close enough to see if it had veins.
Could I use Alchemist to see if I can use the bones for anything, since they've been touched by
Just
dark
to
magic?
study it? Yeah, you can roll it. You don't need to take fatigue if you're just examining it. Yeah, like some sort of enchanted skeleton's bones would certainly be of use to an alchemist. Human bones themselves, ground up into bone meal, can be useful for a variety of potions and such anyway.
Well, I guess we should probably check if our fallen friend here has any other allies attacking the village. Do I I'll peek my head out the door and see if there's any other skeletons.
Sure. I mean, it's still like light snow shower. The clouds are going to be overcast, blocking out sort of moonlight sunlight, so it's like pitch black outside. It's only because of the whiteness of the snow that you're able to kind of make out anything. But there doesn't seem to be anything else moving around out there.
Eric, you think you could like follow its tracks back to where it came from?
A skill tracker probably could.
Well, that's what I was asking. I think his name's Eric. Or did I get that wrong?
Edwin.
Edwin? Oh, my bad.
What's up?
I wonder if you could track the skeleton back to where it came from. Or if you would mind doing that, I should say.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, who doesn't want to go out into the cold darkness to follow
Yeah,
the tracks of the
exactly.
skeleton?
That's.
I mean,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
go
I got called in the middle of the session. I had to pop out, so I must have missed where the skeleton came from.
We don't know.
While
It just
we were-
broke into the house.
Yeah, while we were camping, I'm sorry. What was your character's name again?
Edwin.
Edwin.
No, who was on watch?
Jordan.
So Jordan was on watch. They came inside because it was too cold,
Mm-hmm.
and then the skeleton broke in while they were dozing off or relaxing by the fire.
I was just staring at the fire, basically.
Yeah, they busted in through the door. And then he put it down. But yes, Edwin,
Yeah. Okay.
would you mind
so
stepping
why
out into the
don't-
cold dark night and finding us
I
first?
have a better idea then. Why don't we why don't we just make some traps?
Because if it's snowing, so if we don't check it now, by the time in the morning tracks will be covered, we won't know where it came from.
Okay. Now I'm gonna answer that question with another question. Okay. Why are we following the skeleton? Why am I following the skeleton out in the cold and the dark when I'm probably gonna get lost and killed?
If you want to go by yourself, we would go with you.
Yeah, it might lead us to the whoever has the artifact, and then we could take control of it and use the undead army to fight off the gnolls.
That's not my thoughts at all. But
Why?
sure,
Why
we
does this
could
sound
try
like
that.
Why does this sound like he was drunk and made it up?
My thought would be, if we can find out what's happening, we can get back in the good graces of this village, and also, the people. I don't want them to die. We might need their help later.
We could just get back in their good graces if we muzzle the old man when we're in the village, right?
Oh, okay, sure. Or they'll come in here and see a skeleton and think the old man did it.
Which is why we muzzle him first.
I don't think you can reason with people when they go crazy.
Let's get the barriers broke down in the cemetery and all that army of skeletons now let loose to destroy everyone who don't have anyone controlling them.
Hey, you're the tracker. You don't want to do it. You ain't got to do it. That's why I asked. If the answer's no, the answer's no.
Hearing him say that, I'm gonna start moving the rest of the bones to somewhere hidden, so that no
You
one
start
who,
hiding them, yeah.
Yeah, so anyone who comes in won't just like immediately think we're necromancers.
No, they'll just think you're a cannibal.
Well, I can help you with your tracking. I've got wizard sight as a trait now, so I can help you track with it. Give you a booster. Your tracking.
Just imagine Edwin just looking outside, listening to the wind, feeling the shiver of the cold through the doorway, and he's like, I don't want to go out there.
Again, like
You're
you don't
older
have to
than
do.
that.
You don't have to do anything. This is just a question. The answer is up to you.
Hand on his shoulder, that thumbs up, says, "Where's your adventure, young lad?"
Where's your sense of self-preservation, young lad? I say with air quotes.
But think of the treasure. Think of the fame and recognition. We could, all across the land, people would hear of Edwin, slayer of necromancers, killer of skeletons, who stopped this evil plague before it spread across the land. Don't you want that?
On second thought, I don't want you to go. I really don't want to know what would happen if he got a hold of this artifact. You know what, Edwin? You're right. Let's just stay. We'll wait till the morning. We'll try then when it's daylight outside.
I mean, but then again, it's pretty obvious where the skeleton came from.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alex, man, you're sounding more and more like the villain of the story every time you say something.
My character is the persuasive character. I've got to have a certain amount of grandeur.
Your charm is your charm and your granddad is coming across as like evil villain monologue.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it's supposed to sound, though?
I think Edwin's. Maybe we'll just wait till the morning, Edwin. You're right.
So you just close the door over, prop some chairs up against it. You look at it for a second, then you prop some more chairs and a table up against it. And try to bed down and relax as best as you can for the rest of the night. Make it through till dawn, where the wind picks up even more so, and you can hear it like howling outside and coming in through the cracks in the windows. We're now 8 days in. So, come morning, what's new? What's happening?
I'm just gonna pack my stuff up and get the sled and the dogs ready, and I'm just gonna leave town. Hopefully before I get dragged into any shenanigans about skeletons and magical artifacts.
Goodbye, guys. I'm leaving.
The more I think
That's
about it,
it.
the more I don't want him to have that artifact.
But don't you want the artifact?
No, because then you'll kill me for it.
Never.
I've seen you already kill people in cold blood. I want no part of it.
Lord, am I good man? For me, I have to stop by that cemetery, unfortunately. I'm worried that the barrier there might be faded in some way if a skeleton has got loose. And if it has to, it could mean death to everybody in the whole in the whole village, not just here, but even our own.
And do you really want that blood on your hands when you could have done something? Come
You gonna
on.
try and convince me with the ramblings of an old man, an old crazy man?
No, I'm convincing you with the proof that a skeleton is here. When the people have said that they haven't had magic, or they're obviously terrified of the undead.
I think they have been using
Do you
magic
want that?
themselves, and I don't want no part of it.
But do you really want that on your conscience in case they are innocent?
No, they're not innocent. I'm pretty sure they're involved, and I don't want to die. It's the whole point of this trip.
You sound even more like a serial killer trying to appeal to his like humanity and good nature. Man.
And I'm having none of it. I'm having none of that. Self-preservation, full swing.
Then I'll take the old man to check this barrier with him. Make sure nothing too dangerous is happening.
Marcus, I knew you would let me down. You're such a good man. Not an evil bone in your body.
If I didn't know the old man was crazy before, I definitely know he's crazy now.
Okay, so we have two who want to go into the cemetery and look for things, and one of you who just wants to GTFO. What say Edwin?
God damn it. I do have to keep the idiots alive.
So you're leaning towards going with the idiots.
Reluctantly. But the first sign of trouble, I'm fucking off.
We're just gonna turn around and you're not there. There's just a pair of shoe prints in the ground, but
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm assuming they're not gonna let me just take the sleigh and the dogs. I'm basically on one, so I guess I'm either staying in the village or going with them. Those are my options.
well, you could keep the dogs a safe distance away from the cemetery to not be implicated in case things go wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna be implicated if things go wrong, because I'm a known associate. This is how it works. All right, cemetery it is.
Why does it seem like we're making the worst decision of our lives?
Because you are. Because you are.
Old man's got the biggest grin in the world. I'll go.
As soon as you agree to go, just Marcus just like has like a big smile on his face.
Oh, that's not unsettling at all.
But I do vote we feed the old man to the skeletons. Maybe he'll become a skeleton and learn his lesson.
Or he'll become a great and powerful lich and conquer the world. But either way, let's go find out.
Okay, so as I said, the cemetery, I mean, you just know where the necropolis is. It's about half mile north of the town.
As we're going, I want to try to use criminal to cover our tracks so that none of the town people who come to check on us will realize we're taking a wizard to the cemetery. Should I roll criminal for that?
To hide your tracks.
Or would it just be as simple as just like pulling something in the snow behind us?
I mean, that just creates tracks. It hides your footprints, but it's still leaving a trail, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I guess you could use the criminal for that if you want. Give me a roll. Yes, I guess you show like a good deal of experience in covering your tracks for crimes, much to the
I'm even
The
more
stress of
worried now
others,
than
yeah.
I was before.
How long has he been covering up crimes in the village?
My ability is so profitable.
Yeah, you're able to convincingly cover up your tracks, and also evidence of any sort of disruption at the farmhouse from the night before.
It's like just thinking back, you just remember there's more and more shady figures that you've seen in the bar that you didn't realize how shady they were until now.
I can imagine there's lots of incidents in the past and conversations you've had with him where the different context of it now makes it seem all the more sinister and worrying.
I mean, this is coming from the man who mercilessly slaughtered an innocent guard, 4 innocent
Exactly.
guards, because he called them bandits.
But then again, now that you're thinking about it, he probably would have known if they were bandits or not, wouldn't I have?
I believe anything out of your mouth the same way I believe a drunk and their claims, which is to say I don't.
Yeah, it's probably more worrisome to think that he knew fine well they weren't bandits when he did it. Best just not to think about that. Yeah, I mean, in short order, you're able to make your way up to the necropolis, which is just this vast cemetery covered in snow with just the tombstones and the top of monuments like poking out. There's like a couple of larger mausoleum buildings dotted around as well, and just kind of one more grandiose one of prominence in the centre. But at first glance when you arrive there, I mean, it's calm, it's serene, apart from the wind blowing around. It doesn't seem anything unusual.
All right, first sign of trouble, we're leaving.
Looks like a completely ordinary cemetery to me. All right, let's go.
I used my Pathfinder with my wizard sight to sort of see where I'm going around the place.
Yes,
And
you
see if I
can.
can find it with battle happening.
Yes, you can do it.
So 3 for path, 1 for initial dice, and 1 for my trait. So it's 5.
Oh, yes.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
What's the thing where you run places? It's just from the cemetery.
But
We can't travel. We can't travel anywhere else today.
So, yes. You don't need to take a fatigue for that because it's such a grand success. You're clearly able to see the trails. You can, first of all, you can see sort of like the magical sphere that covers this place that keeps it contained. You can see how it's weakened and thinned over time, and the cracks are appearing in it, and that's where something has kind of slipped through. And you can see the energies inside it and how they are all kind of like connected to each other through the various tombs and crypts and graves. And you can see quite brightly and clearly in the snow, even though the tracks have been covered physically, you can see like the trace steps of where this creature has like trekked through the snow the night before, and where it came from. And you can also sense the source of the magical energy here, the thing that keeps it focused and empowered, and it's located in this central mausoleum.
Fellow adventurers, we must seek the magic and destroy it. So says the great mighty wizard Baldor.
What did he just say to me?
We've got to go there and destroy whatever is causing this magic.
So yes, you know exactly where to go.
Oh, I think I sprained my ankle. Oh, I can't walk no more.
Oh, would you like me to heal you, my young friend?
No, don't waste your magic on me.
Well, come on then. I grab my arm and walk with him. Let's go to adventure.
No, I think it's best if I just rest here for a moment.
Nonsense. Let's go.
Yeah, you're not moving me, old man.
All right, but you can be outside by yourself when all the skeletons start coming out of their graves.
I'm okay with that.
So Aaron, you walk right up to the mausoleum, the main one, the grand one in the centre of the necropolis. You see the doors are kind of like frozen solid shut. Large brass handles on them. They would be used for pulling them open normally. And you're certain 100% that the source of the power is in here.
Let's get in quick. Stand back and I'll blow the doors open. Unless anyone's got a better idea.
We could always just see if they're open and unlocked.
That'd be sensible.
Are the doors unlocked?
Someone can take a fatigue to pull them open with great effort.
I would, but I've got to be prepared in case anything pops out and we need to fight it.
And I'm holding my knee, complaining about my sprained ankle.
We need the engineer to open this door.
The engineer's down.
You saw like puppy dog guys. Come on, my good lads, come on. With like a frail old man trying to open this heavy door.
Yeah, my ankle, I can't. I'm gonna keep holding my knee.
Okay, then just stand back and I'll have to use my spells then to try and blast it open.
I'm gonna move back a safe distance.
What is the safe distance? He's
Behind.
thrown shit around with.
I'm way back behind the dogs in the sled where I fell down originally.
Safe distance.
Okay, so you roll up your sleeves and start waving your arms around. And give me a dice roll.
Doing blast. I think my traits will apply to this. Hidden depths. Trying to control the spell. I don't know if that works.
Not hidden depths, because this is just throwing a fireball at a door, basically.
That's my god. Nah, that was fun. Right, so paper blast and one initial, then 3.
Alright. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, you throw the blast of magical energies, enhanced as they are by the auras that are floating around this place, and blow the doors open, blasting to smithereens. Shards of wood and ice and metal go flying everywhere. But the sound, great as it is, can be heard all across the valley behind you. People in the village definitely heard it, even above the sound of the wind. And it's so loud that even the dead have been awakened by it. And the rest of you look around nervously, knowing fine well what was going to fucking happen as soon as he started doing magic in this place. And you can see the graves moving, the shift of the snow as things long buried beneath it begin to emerge and lift themselves up.
Well, since I was already at the sleigh with the dogs, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you mumbled there. What'd you say?
Since I was already at the sleigh with the dogs, I'm just gonna go.
I'm just gonna turn when I hear the dogs going and go, well, that's my cue, and follow after you.
So he cracks the whip, the dogs start up, you hop onto the sleigh, two of you ride off, just as all these skeletons begin to rise out from the snow.
I said I was gonna leave at the first sign of trouble.
No, that's perfectly valid.
I didn't want to be here in the first place.
Wow.
Neither did I.
Alex, what's your character's name again? I haven't got the sheet here.
Marcus.
So Marcus and Aaron, you're both standing there in front of the opened mausoleum, and you begin to notice, or at least Marcus notices, all the things beginning to wake up around the graveyard.
Well, let's go find this artifact before we get swarmed. Shall we?
Let's go.
So you both want to step inside the mausoleum.
Of course.
You step in, it's just like a stairwell that goes downwards. Everything is just coated in thick layer of ice, and it's kind of softly illuminated as the light is sort of encapsulated inside the ice and lit up from the magical energies that pervade the place. As you descend the staircase, careful not to slip and lose your footing, there is a single sarcophagus laid out in a central area.
Do you recognize this from the last time you were here?
It seemed familiar. Something about this. I can't quite recall though. What's There's something very specific about this tomb though.
As you're pontificating, Marcus's inner clock starts to tick down and calculate how long it's going to take skeletons to walk in this door.
Looking around, do I see anything that stands out as a magical artifact?
There's
Other than-
inscriptions, engravings across all the walls and the ceiling and the flooring of this tomb, but there is nothing else in here. Just great blocks of ice and icicles.
I rolled to sort of call this tomb and where I remember it from.
Like, do you want to roll to remember? Are you saying?
Yeah, I rolled to see if I remember anything about this the
Okay.
tomb, or at least the markings on the wall. Make
Okay.
sure I understand some of the cryptos. Yes, just 2 dice then.
Did you remember to take fatigue from the fireball as well?
Yeah.
You don't need to take fatigue for remembering, obviously, because that's a mental exercise, but yeah. Yes, do you remember? This sarcophagus is what the skull of the necromancer was sealed in. This was part of the binding ritual that you created. And this is where the necromancer is laying and his skull is in there, and that is the whole thing that sort of ties all this together.
Ah, there we go. That's why. This is where we put his dead body, and that's where we hid the skull with it. We locked it inside the sarcophagus.
Alright, hurry. Remember, how do we open it? We need to get the skull so we can set the skeletons back to rest. For the safety of the village.
Well, that's easy. We just read you have to read the inscriptions, and then have to be able to read the magical inscriptions built on the skull itself. Now, if I can remember the wording of this language, I remember the parts I wrote, but there's one part I didn't write myself.
Being a far-traveled merchant and alchemist, do I recognize any of the scripts?
Yeah, you can roll for it, although it might be a stretch. Yeah, no, this is completely alien language to you. You don't you understand or recognize any of this that's been carved in here. What you do recognize, though, is the sound of bony feet stepping against the floor as you turn around and look to the entrance, and you can see the first of the skeletons starting to make its way down the staircase.
Well, you gotta hurry, old man. We're about to be surrounded.
I'm going to use I've got to build barrier, so I'm going to use my barrier in the sort of opposite format to sort of open or release the barrier around the sarcophagus so it can be opened.
Reverse barrier. Okay.
I have the spell barrier, so in most cases
You're
I'd have to
undoing
go-
it. Yeah, you're undoing the barrier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of my traits would apply to it or not this roll.
The hidden depths could come in here, because this is where you're reaching in to get a clutch moment.
Right, so 2 for that, initial dice 3, and that'll be 4 then total. Does the macro actually push the 3 the extra dice in that automatically? Yeah.
Sorry? Do you want to push it?
No, the macro, I was double checking the macro. Does it actually add the dice automatically, the initial one?
Yeah, any that roll a 6 will roll another dice.
Yeah, but that's not...
Right.
No, you put in how many dice you're rolling in total.
Alright, cool, just want to double check. In case I put the wrong number last time. So 2 fire, 4 dice. Nope.
Yeah, this is where you reach deep into your soul, to those hidden depths that you keep, telling others you have buried within you from your past and the great things you've done. And this is where you find that age has completely failed you and has eroded the memory, that part of your brain, the connection, the synapse it needs to reach down and find that knowledge that you once had. And you just feel this overwhelming sense of disappointment, despair, and loss of usefulness. You realise you're just like this crippled old man, and you just hammer your fist in frustration against the sarcophagus with the realization that, this is your future, the erosion of yourself and everything that once made you great.
No, that can't be. No, I am the Great Wizard. I don't do this. This does not happen to me. Why?
The clattering of bones as skeleton slips on the ice of the stairway and falls to the bottom of the room amongst you. And then one by one, the bones start to move and join themselves together again.
Quickly, before it reforms, I'm gonna grab its skull.
You don't need to roll for that, you can just grab its skull.
Yeah, hopefully it'll keep it from reforming for a little bit. Or at least be...
Yeah, you grab the skull and kind of recoil in horror for a second as the bones start to move and try to join together with the skull you're holding. So the bones are floating and following you around as if they're magnetized.
Well, from what I think I might know, there is one way the wizard spell can be dispelled if they don't have the exact way to dispel it. If the caster is no longer with us, wouldn't that dispel a barrier?
At this point where you kill your father.
He's gonna kill the old man. He's gonna say the skeletons got to him. But I would think not. It wouldn't make sense for them to put the barrier up knowing that if they died it would go away. That wouldn't make no sense.
Yeah. Is there any other way we can release the barrier? Or
Oh yes, we can do it. We can just you can either just try to pull it open or blast it open.
alright, blast away.
There may be a small consequence.
Is it because we're in a small room?
That and that if the magical energies have built up over time, they could also enhance the spell to make it a bit more explosive than normal.
Well, I'm going to say the risk is that it could break the binding completely, and then any sort of protection this place still has, keeping the skeletons inside, would be lost.
Basically.
So what do you think? Do we take that chance and possibly release an undead horde to fight to hopefully fight the gnolls? Or do we stay here and let the skeletons kill us, but still be trapped in the cemetery?
There's a barrier next to the door, which is also to keep them away, but I think we've not got the time for that, so let's just...
Alright, as he says that, I'm just gonna throw the skull gently up the stairs.
Okay, so
Hopefully
you lob it up the stairs towards the other skeletons that are massing at the door, the entrance now, and the headless skeleton that's formed sort of climbs up the stairs towards the skull.
Okay, with that last roll here, I think Wizard Psych's are more focused than this one, so I need to know exactly where I'm shooting this blast.
Or touched by the gods. Either one, yeah, something will apply.
So I've got 3 dice for this one.
Well, you had 4.
No, 4.
Yeah.
My initial dice.
Yeah, you had 4 last time. Why would you not have 4 again?
Not thinking right now. This is
I'm guessing there's a moment where you both kind of close your eyes and just hope that this isn't the last time you ever draw breath. And then there's this kind of pop sound as a very focused, centralized, targeted explosion happens in the immediate vicinity of the sarcophagus, and the lid just kind of like shifts to one side, a crack.
Going online quickly. Push the lid off quickly.
Alright, I'm gonna move to push the lid off.
You push the lid off. There's like purple velveted interior, pristine, with just a layer of frost over it on the inside. With this carefully laid out skeleton in these dark black robes with all these insignias and inscriptions stitched into the linen. The skeleton is laying there with its arms crossed across its chest, and the skull, just an ordinary looking skull, staring back at you.
I snatch up the skull.
While he snatches the skull, I'm gonna try to step on the skeleton,
The crawling
maybe
one.
its spine or something.
Okay, step
whatever
on
one
it to the crawling one to kind of stop it crawling up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, and it
Alright.
flails its arms about uselessly because it can't see.
Can you take control of them and usher this army of the dead back to rest?
Focus this magic from the artifact skull of the necromancer to try and take control of everything then.
Sure, and your traits will apply for hidden depths, but you don't have any skills in necromancy, I'm assuming.
Not in necromancy, no.
No, so you'll have 2 dice. Unless you want to push it, and then you could get a third dice.
I'll push it for a third dice.
Okay, so-
it will take it for a health. It will take me to a health mark, but let's go for it.
Okay, so that's... Well, is there any point doing that? Because then you would lose a dice.
Well, wouldn't you lose the dice for the next dice roll?
Yeah, I suppose.
Me for the next dice roll
Yeah,
after that.
okay. Mark fatigue, that fills your fatigue clock. It gets emptied, and then you mark one of your health ticks. And you can make a roll. 3 dice. I'm not giving you much more.
No health clock there, hold on. Oh yeah.
That's a crit success. So what is it you wanted to happen?
We now control the skeleton.
Yes, it all comes flooding back to you as you pick up the skull and begin the incantation. You hold it up above your head, and seemingly nothing happens, but to you with your astral sight, you can feel the energies channeled through it, revitalized, and now that sort of like memory of once being great and powerful as the energies kind of flow through your fingertips into you, and you can feel it like throughout your entire body.
What was the name that you were calling yourself? The Great what? I didn't hear that. You might cut out.
Builder.
I can't make out what you're saying because you make some
Can you
garbled
just type
anyway.
it?
Sorry, builder.
Alright. I'm sorry, could you just type that in?
Boulder. Okay.
Alright. Alright, now Great Wizard Balder, you have to tell them to gather their forces, head north, and face the gnoll army that's encroaching upon us.
That's fine. Yes, we'll create the army and take over the land.
Yes. Remember, this is all in service to the Empire. You must get back into their good graces. Show them what for calling you a crackpot.
Yes, first the village must suffer.
The entire Empire must suffer for what they've done to you. Now, release them upon the north, upon the great gnoll horde, to gather a greater force to march into the Empire.
I'm going to say, was it the village we were at in Cloverbit? What was it called again?
Corrigan.
I'm going to send the Corrigan, destroy Corrigan village.
Yes, so it's not so much you've got control over the undead horde. It's more that the necromancer's consciousness contained in the skull has taken over you.
Yeah, basically.
So we can cut to maybe a few minutes later. Edwin and Jordan, you have like made your way back to the edge of the village, and you're looking back towards the cemetery like, oh, what are we going to do now? There's only 2 of us. and then you just see like a line of skeletons marching out from the cemetery.
Ah, I see they're making it worse.
I need to go feed this cat quick. I will back in 2 minutes.
I wasn't expecting it to go that way, but I'm happy it did.
Why do I feel like we're just gonna make a second horde coming from the other way?
But the two hordes are gonna fight each other.
And then turn into a giant undead army, which will then take over the whole world, or the whole Northlands, or whatever we are.
Or try and find more magic powers to try and get more powerful and become unstoppable. My dimensional shit will kick in. I'll send the armies to try and search for the peach tree.
Yeah, but except for you're not in charge anymore. The necromancer's in charge of your body now.
Well, we just gotta keep the necromancer's ego fed, and we'll be able to hopefully direct them where we want them to go.
Well, the first stop is Innocent Village.
What were we saying? Does the evil plans take over?
Yeah, the apparently the necromancer's spirit is attempting to possess you with the skull.
That's fixing that.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a drink. I am curious about what the villagers would think if they see you running towards the fleeing towards the village with an army of skeletons following you.
I'll tell them that they're right about the magician, and I should have killed him when I had the chance. And him and his son.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy supplies, and then I'll head back to the village, our village, because I have no idea what else to do after that.
Okay.
I see we're gonna commit further felonies and atrocities.
We aren't. They are.
I
At this point, my goal is to make it back to our home village, because now there's an army of undead in between me and it if I go in any other direction. So now I have no choice but to go back and just build what fortifications I can from the houses. I'll tear the houses down and build whatever I can.
I think Alex stepped away a second.
Do what?
I think Alex stepped away for a second. Oh no, there he is.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yes, so Edwin and Jordan, usually, pulled away, safety, and you're like, God knows what troubles those two are going to stir up. But maybe we can get rid of the psycho killer and the crazy old man who's a liability. And the two of us can try and make something of this situation. And then you see, stepping out from the snow and the wind, just a line of marching undead, and at their centre and ahead is the old man clutching a skull and holding it aloft, and beside him the malevolent Marcus.
Yeah, so that's my plan. We're gonna head back to Kroger, whatever, get some supplies, tell them they were right, they should have killed the old man when they had the chance, and then I'm headed back to Norg.
If anyone asks me, I'm just gonna argue that I got possessed by the necromancer. He summoned a ghost and possessed me.
The next time I see you in our village, I'm convincing them to kill you. You and the old man.
I just start waving and he goes, "Oh, hello Edwin, hello Jordan, look what I've got."
Yeah, nope. I'm out. I don't know about Edwin. I'm out.
That wasn't crazy.
I'm not crazy, I'm just stupid.
I told you I wasn't crazy. I'm just hell bent on the destruction of this village now for no reason.
That's the help by destruction part in a demon voice.
I've already just made a comment that I think we've already accelerated the end a few weeks ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
So, what is to be done? To just flee? To take out the old man? To relieve him of this skull that he's now brandishing? What?
I think we should bury the old man in snow and let the elements take him.
It's a valid strategy.
You do whatever you feel you need to do. I'm leaving before the old man catches up to me and kills me.
But then, of course, you may find yourself trapped between an army of gnolls and an army of skeletons.
No, I'm headed back to the village. I'll just die in my village because.
But that's what I mean. Like, eventually, you may just
Yeah.
find yourself trapped
Yeah.
between the two forces.
I've already resigned myself to my fate. I'm dead anyways. I might as well die where I love to be. I'm gonna be home when I die. Because if I go other places and try to get help, I'm gonna have an undead army in between me and Norg Village.
Unless you can put a stop to the undead army right now.
Unless I can somehow, by myself with no combat experience or anything, put a stop to an undead army when there's a psycho killer assassin guarding him. I have no delusions about where my skill set lies. So it's up to Edwin. If Edwin thinks he can kill the old man.
Yeah, so what's your thoughts, Edwin? You also happy to leave everyone to their fate and disappear off into the landscape? Or is this the point where you think, I'm going to end this ridiculousness and put an arrow between the old man's eyes?
I mean, I have considered it, but no,
Oh, if you could hit him from this distance, please do.
can I?
There's nothing stopping you. He's a crazed old man leading an army of the undead. It's perfectly valid for you to want to put him down.
Okay, get it back.
Him and Marcus both. I just don't think I can get close enough to do that because I'm not a fighter. We can do a drive-by if you want. I'll drive the sled. You can shoot him. We do a drive-by.
Yeah, that would be an aid to the roll, yeah. It's up to you guys. Or if you have a less lethal solution.
Fuck it, we ball. Yeah, we're doing a drive-by.
Drive-by. All right.
Okay, so unless you've already done it, you would mark off one of your gear, and that will give you your bow and arrow.
I will pick up a shield. I use it like we did the guards or whatever. So I guess I'll mark a gear for that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I will pick up a shield so I can, just in case they see what we're doing and try to stop us with ranged weaponry or something.
Okay, yep. So you're going to aid, so that will give him an extra dice. And then which skill are you wanting to use for? And then are we actually going for like a headshot, or is there like another target?
I mean, I briefly considered destroying the skull to end the silliness in another way, but
It's up to you, man. It's your character.
I briefly considered it, and I am not, because I think if we destroy the skull, the skeleton horde will stop.
So do you want to aim for the skull rather than the old man?
Well, I'm aiming for a skull. It might not be that skull.
Yeah, you line it up so that it goes right through one and then the other.
I will.
Well, I mean, if you get crit success, you can totally dictate the exact events of it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Fuck it. We're ball. Yeah. Yes. We're gonna do it. We ball. It's archery, so that's 3 plus 1 for the assist.
And
I'm
plus 1.
fresh, so plus 1 there.
Yeah, and then plus another one because you're just default dice you always get.
And then
So
you can
that's
push
6
yourself.
dice.
You can push yourself if you wanted and get 7.
Yeah. Fuck it. We ball. So that's
Okay, so
fatigue?
you'll take 2 fatigue if you push yourself.
Fuck it. We ball.
We ball.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I can't roll to save my life today.
Man.
This does not make me very confident for playing Blood Bowl after this game.
You're getting all your bad rolls out of the way. Don't worry.
Nuffle hates me, okay?
7 dice for success. This is very like our other campaigns of this, though. We roll mountains of dice and get fuck up.
And then roll 2 dice and get 3 success.
Yep.
So this is a partial success. I don't think it makes any sense for you guys to take any cold or damage or anything like that, right? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you were aiming for the skull and just, hoping that no one gets hurt in the process. But of course, that's not how these things work out. You arc the arrow through the air. It pierces the necromancer's skull held aloft in the wizard's hand, piercing right through of it, severing the connection. But it also goes like right through that and into the base of the neck of the person holding the skull as well. So, Aaron, you're going to mark 2 injuries.
Oh, can I counter it? But nah, never mind.
No, you're not going to counter it.
No.
How do you counter an arrow?
Barrier magic, I see it coming.
I bet he was using the shield to hide what they were doing, so.
Let's see. Right.
So we marked 2 injuries. That is not health, that is the injury one.
Yeah.
As this arrow, seemingly out of nowhere, through the skull and into the base of like your neck, collarbone kind of area. A little bit of shooting pain, spurt of blood, and this magical connection just like severed all of a sudden. And you realise, wait, that wasn't me. There was someone else in my mind for a moment there. And the skeletons, although they haven't collapsed to the ground in a broken heap of bones, they are now completely stationary, standing still, frozen mid-pose. And Marcus kind of stops in his tracks, turns around, wondering what's just happened.
Well, that's unexpected.
All right, Marcus next. Marcus next. Hurry up.
Seeing the do any of the skeletons have a bow and arrow?
No, at most they're going to have like some old rusty blades. They don't have the they don't have the upper body strength to like pull an arrow.
I guess
Hey,
I'll,
that.
I guess I'll reach down and pick up the skull.
Well, he's still holding the skull. There's just an arrow through it, which is now stuck into him. So it's kind of held up in pose.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
You must not. You must destroy the skull to stop the skeletons.
Destroy the Of course, of course. I'll take the skull from his hand. I want to try to do a little bit of sleight of hand to swap it with one of the other skeleton skulls. While
The skull you're already holding from the other skeleton. Oh no, so
Yeah.
you lopped up the stairs when we picked up. Okay, so
Yeah, but
wait, you're going to walk over to him, you're going to slide that skull off the end of the arrow, leaving the arrow sticking in him.
then walk over towards the skeletons and like hold up like I'm gonna smash it.
Okay, so you're making it clear to the other two on the sled that you have a skull, which looks like it's that skull.
Yes.
And then you want to falsely smash it. You want to give
Yes.
me like a criminal roll?
All right. Would that be cunning?
You can definitely use cunning, yeah. Yes, to them it
No.
looks as though you've slid the skull off the arrow, held it aloft to say, I understand now, and then you break it against a rock.
While whispering to the other skull, make the skeletons collapse.
And all the skeletons just fall into piles of bones.
Haha! I've defeated the evil wizard and slain the necromancer's
Why'd you do
artifact.
this every time?
Because it's more fun to be evil. It's your fault. You made us have the first campaign I did with you.
This
was
is definitely
evil
not my fault. This is the path you
I-
choose every time.
You know, yeah, I can't say this is his fault because every game I played with you, you've been evil. No matter, even when we were supposed to be heroes, you were evil.
Definitely shades of grey, yeah.
The paladin wasn't evil.
Well, I didn't play with you with that game. That was every game I've played with you.
Yes, but to everyone else anyway, it seems as though you, at the last minute, chose to do the right thing and destroyed the necromancer's skull. And ended the undead. So, bully for you.
Well, now we have a powerful artifact to help defend our village.
As you secrete the skull into your satchel. So you need to mark off either a supplies or a gear to make room for the skull that you're carrying now.
I'll mark off a gear.
And yeah, also just right into inventory, you got the necromancer skull. Christ is verted, apart from the fact that Aaron has an arrow sticking out of him and he's bleeding.
I guess I should try to heal him with alchemy. Is that something I can do, or would I have to have done it before?
No, you
Like,
can, yeah, you can pull out supplies or gear to pull out something, and then attempt to heal him. But you'll need to do it, like, you can't do it out here in the open, you'll need to do it somewhere, like, where you can rest and stuff.
Alright, I'll scoop him up and try to bring him towards one of the others or towards a shelter.
Sure, you scoop him up in your arms and you carry him over towards the others. arrow still sticking out of him. So they approach you, Edwin and Jordan.
Okay.
Did you see that? An arrow came out of nowhere and almost killed the old man.
They told his villagers they didn't like magic stuff.
I know, right? It's so crazy. Especially since there's no one else out here.
Yes, absolutely.
That you can see, anyways. This is their backyard.
So we're doing the thing where everybody just ignores the reality of what's happening,
Yes.
fully
Yes.
knowing that the other person knows full well what is going on.
Yes.
It really is a strange thing to happen.
I know, right? We should definitely take him inside and hopefully we can stop the bleeding so he doesn't die.
And you two are also like, it's a good thing you guys were just ahead of that skeleton horde and not controlling them in any way.
I know, right? We were safely running away. Thankfully, skeletons aren't too fast.
Okay, so we return to the tavern. We just go in, you clear a table, you lay the old man down. The barkeep gets out some rags and some hot water. And while he's being attended to, you're all just kind of standing a pace apart from each other, giving each other evil eyes out the corner.
Marcus just has a smile on his face. He knows what's going on.
It's almost like a Mexican standoff. Just you're all waiting for each other to make the first move. But yeah, you can mark something off and roll your alchemy to treat him if you want.
Alright. Alright.
Mark fatigue, but you can heal 3 ticks of injury on him.
Alright, so Aaron's fully healed unless you had other injuries.
No, my thing permanently just now.
So you apply some tinctures and ointments to your wound. Removes the arrow. It cauterizes almost immediately and starts to clot up and scab over. The barkeeper's, what the hell happened out there? Were you hunting?
Hi, it was a simple hunting accident.
No, this wasn't a hunting accident. That crazy fucker was raising the dead.
The sound of drinks being spilled as men like stand up from the table, like old men, and they reach down for daggers they
that
no
fuck
longer
needs to be
carry.
hanged, lynched publicly, and I just walk away.
I wouldn't walk away, because you walk away, he might escape. I'm going to say that out loud.
Oh, no. I'm done with this crazy horse shit. You all enjoy the fucking gnolls. I'm out.
Necromancy, says the barkeep, and he like swipes the stuff off the table. Makes his way
Yeah.
over to the bar. This
Might
man?
want to get,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
yeah, you might want to get your warriors, your chief, whatever.
The barkeep reaches behind the bar for something. He kind of like pauses for a second, weighing up if you should grab it and do something right now, or if you should go get the others first.
Hurry, who knows what kind of dark magic he's planning. Go get the others.
What about you, Aaron? What'd you do?
Okay, sorry.
Well, while he's thinking about what he's going to do, I'm going to pull out the pickaxe that I have on me and go ahead and equip the shield that I don't know how to use. And kind of like block the door, I guess.
Yeah, you're like,
People getting out, not people
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
in. People
You're like-
can get in all they want.
yeah, you're like, no one's getting out of here.
Yeah.
The barman just pulls out like a club. It's just like a big club with some studs at the end of it out from behind the bar. And wields it in his big hands.
It's like grab a bit of utensil and everything and cast my veil spell. Cast basically a big illusion in
Okay,
the place.
to hide yourself.
I'm just double checking veil covers that. I'm just double checking.
Unless invisibility is a separate one, I think it would. Is Veil not from where hiding like a campsite and stuff though?
Things I'm just double checking. Creates an illusion that prevents an area from being perceived by others. Yes, so it's a camp thing. Sorry.
Yeah, that would hide like the building, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll probably just have to use either blast or barrier. probably barrier then.
Okay, so we create a barrier around yourself. Sure, give me a roll.
Yeah.
How many fatigue are you at now?
Right, I went through the thing, my fatigue reset, so
So you're back at 1 with this one.
we'll be back at one. This will be 1 again
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Alright, so you lose your default dice basically because you're health tick.
Yep, so I've got 2 in barrier, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Any of my traits work here now for it. Sudden death, touched by God, or wizard sight.
I mean, touched by
Oh,
gods,
and
if you're appealing to the source of your power, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably do it at this point, so near dying as it is.
So 3 dice.
Nope, Barry doesn't like me.
Nope, you wave your hand to try and create the barrier to protect yourself, and that's when the barkeep's like, he is casting magic! And he slams his massive club into your skull. So you're going to take another 2 injury ticks.
Smart getting rid of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take my eyes off of Marcus the whole time.
So Aaron is struck with the barkeep and he's just like beating on him with the stick. Jordan is guarding the door, not letting anyone move. The 2 old men that stood up are just kind of don't know what to do with themselves. They don't have any weapons. They're old. They're not really capable of like rushing them. They're just kind of like, you get him, barkeeper. Whose name we have?
Well,
on there?
I think I would tell one of them to get the chief and the warriors. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Oh yeah,
so.
okay. You let him go and yells out. And Edwin was also making his way. I don't know if he's like left the room or if he's still in there.
No, I didn't say what he was up to yet because I wasn't sure if I was just gonna walk out, mic drop, and go run away and live in the forest or something. I hadn't quite thought it through yet, so I imagine he's still standing there trying to figure that one out for himself.
Yeah. Okay? So there's a moment where you're like, just exit, and then but he's already at the door, shield, and he's like, nobody's going. And he's glowering. Jordan is glowering at Marcus. Marcus, what are you doing? As Aaron is struck with this blow.
I'm just slowly backing towards the bar, maybe grabbing a drink on my way towards there.
Okay, barkeep after smacking the old man. Like, you lift another finger and I'll beat you to death.
Laughing maniacally. It's just, you're all fools. And then start doing the voice of the necromancer.
Who's no longer possessing you.
So basically I'm using his force, any power that I could strain from him, start calling forth the army. Any residual power that I can pull forth.
Okay, so this is just your dementia talking at this point. You do not have a connection to him because the skull was like struck.
Basically.
So yes, you just start like making weird voices and talking about summoning the dead and shit like that.
Hit him again.
I mean, he's going to hit him again.
Oh no, did you hear that outside?
I'm not looking.
Okay, are you trying to help him by distracting the barkeep?
No, I'm trying to distract everyone by making them think there's something happening outside.
Do you have like deception as a skill or anything like that?
Cunning.
I have a persuader. I don't think deception is a skill.
I mean, you
No,
can
because I think.
take it as one.
Okay. Shit. I thought it was tied into cunning because it says something.
You could
about
use
being,
cunning, yeah, because that's a
deceitful.
trait. Yeah, but that would just give you 2 dice.
Oh no, yeah, I don't have manipulator.
Yeah, okay.
I
So
probably should have gotten that instead of persuader.
yeah, probably 2 dice if you want to try it. Aaron, I mean, he's going to hit you again. You can try and defend yourself if you want.
That's basically use blast. That's the only thing I can do. Basically.
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. I'm not using
I don't know
magic.
how
Firewall.
I'm just gonna sit at the bar enjoying a drink while I watch the show.
Okay, right, Aaron, give me a roll for the blast then.
I can't really use heal spell on myself, I don't think so.
At no point using heal when he's still hitting you.
Exactly. Okay, 2 with and 1 with thing on her fate, so 3 dice. Nope.
I told
I
you
used
not to
it
use
all when
magic!
you-
Smack, smack, smack. That's going to fill up your injury clock. You're going to take another health tick. And you're rendered unconscious and like roll off the table onto the floor. The man is like standing over you, breathing heavily, panicking, just waiting for you to flinch. Madness in his eyes, just enraged.
Oh, you ready for this? That man's his son too. I'm gonna point at Marcus.
I don't know. Those two came into town with him. They could be accomplices. I just met them on the road.
He's just like, he points his stick at each of you in turn. As none of you are going anywhere until the chieftain gets here.
I'm okay with that.
You're all responsible for bringing this into our lives.
I wouldn't dream of leaving.
It's a few moments. It's like bangs on the door and the men trying to shove the door open from the outside.
Yeah, I'll just step aside, let him in.
Azo, Agmandar, and a couple of other men come rushing in, weapons at the ready. They look down, they can see Aaron on the floor, the barkeeper standing over him with the club, and the rest of you just start standing around. What the hell is going on in here?
You were right, old man, crazy, tried to raise an army of the dead. So, do with him what you will, I suppose.
He,
And Marcus is his son, and also a cold-blooded killer. And to be honest with you, I've been kind of scared traveling with him, and this doesn't make me feel any better. So, do with that what you will as well.
these two, this old man. What did they do exactly? And then
I don't
the
know.
barkeeper's going to be like, he was trying to use magic.
They went into a graveyard, and then they came out, and there was an army of dead following them. That's all I know.
I don't see any army of the dead. Are you sure you haven't been drinking too much?
Oh, I'm sure. Luckily, Edwin's a good shot.
That's true that we don't have any other choice. The law says he must be hung for his crimes. And he motions, and two of the men holster their weapons and grab the old man, one arm each, and like drag him out of the building. As for the rest of you, you'll stay in here until we decide what to do with you. And them and the barkeep leave the room and close the door, kind of lock the door from the outside. Just leaving you three inside. So, what do you want to do now?
I'm just gonna stand in front of the door again.
I want the tallest, stiffest, most alcoholic beverage that I can get my hands on.
Sure, you lean over behind the bar, find a bottle of what passes for whiskey. Fix yourself a drink. What now, Marcus?
Well, this has been fun and all, but I think I'm gonna go lay down. I'll move towards the back room where the bedding was.
So tiptoe your way around. Jordan grilling at you the whole time.
Yeah, and then just gently close the door. Are there any windows in the room?
No.
Immediately gonna start barricading the door with chairs and tables. His door that he just went into,
Yeah,
so he's
yeah.
trapped in that
Lock him
room.
in there. Yeah.
How sturdy are the walls?
Sturdy. This extra room is kind of like the stone part of the exterior wall. So it's a bit cooler in here, obviously, because it's not a fire and stuff like that. It'd be quite cool in there, probably. But it doesn't have any drafts because it's solid brick.
Alright. Soon as I'm in there and I hear him start barricading the wall, I'm just gonna reach into my bag and take out the skull.
Sure. This ordinary looking skull with now 2 holes in it. Either side of the skull.
I wonder if you can help me get out of this predicament.
Don't know if you're expecting it to talk back to you or something, but it does not.
Well, either way, I guess we can always just set the building on fire.
The front door is thrown open. Jordan and Edwin, you guys still stand inside there. And the guys come marching in. Where's the other one?
On point, he's locked in there.
Why have you locked him in there?
I told you before, he's killed people in cold blood right in front of us.
Why
And
you,
he's the old man's son. I don't trust him.
why were you traveling with these two if they were so dangerous?
They come from our same village. I thought we had the same goal of trying to save our village, but the more we travel, the more I learn that one's crazy and the other is greedy or something. I don't know why he killed. Maybe he's just psycho. I don't know.
Is this true? And they look at you, Edwin.
Yep. Every word is true.
So you bring these dangerous persons into our village, lie to us, and then when things go wrong, you expect to
Hold
just
up.
blame them and leave?
Hold on, I never lied to you once. I even told you the old man did magic and was crazy. I just didn't think he was that crazy.
You'll give me a roll to convince this guy of your sincerity.
Well, I've been nothing but honest with him when I got here, so yeah, I'll try. I don't even know what I have to roll here. Merchant, I don't think that would count. That's all I got. So there's a flat roll plus the extra dice.
And then another extra one because Edwin's obviously supporting you here.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like nodding his head like, yep. Okay, so after consideration and, you know, sort of heated, under breath sort of argument with his men, the chieftain sort of agrees. He clearly just doesn't like the idea of spilling blood, especially when, you know, they haven't really seen anything apart from the old man trying to cast some magic.
Right.
And he's clearly out of his mind and, you know, not all there. So he's obviously seems conflicted about it. And on that basis, more than anything else, you know, he's willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and accept your version of what's happened here.
Right, and I can sympathize because I also did not want to shed blood or kill him until
Yeah.
he decided to raise the army of the undead. So, you know.
As loath as I am to execute an old man who's clearly not all there, if he is so dangerous, then I don't think there's anything more responsible to do than to end him. Because clearly he is a danger. But this one you say is his son. He's a killer, and he's killed in cold blood.
Yeah, and I'll tell him that we came across the toll house and there was people in there. We, me and Edwin, obviously didn't know who they were, and the old man had went in, hadn't came back out yet. And then Marcus just went to the door, talked to the guy, and as soon as he turned around, just stabbed him in the neck and killed him. Like he turned around like he was, I don't know, calling somebody or getting something, and then Marcus just killed him, and then went inside and killed everybody else in their sleep.
And you both saw this happening.
Yes, I did see it happen.
You
And
both,
yes,
you
I-
and Edwin both saw this happen. You're both bearing
Yes.
witness to this crime.
Yes.
Can not be any doubt then. We must execute them both. And he like waves at his men, and they're going to pull back the tables and chairs and open the door to the room that you're in, Marcus. Door opens and two men rush in and try to pin you down, Marcus. Is there anything you want to try and do?
How much is left in the bottle?
He's like, I'm gonna drink more. He's not gonna drink.
Well, you two are right. They're not bothering you two, but it's Marcus that is going to haul out of that room. Do you have a plan B, Alex?
So they've attempted to disparage me and say I'm a cold-blooded killer of some kind, haven't they?
Well, they both claim to witness the crime of you killing some guards in cold blood, yes.
But did they mention that those guards were bandits who had killed and stolen the armor of the previous guards, who I knew very well?
Do you want to roll your dice to try and persuade him of your side of events?
Jesus Christ. Jesus
Wow.
Yeah, the man is like, now it's just they said, he said. So, you know, considering, I don't think we have the jurisdiction or the right here to end someone's life based on stories that we're being told with no witnesses or evidence of our own. You're all strangers to us and we don't know any better. Now, the old man is clearly a danger, and we will put an end to that danger, as is right. But for the rest of you, we don't want any part of this. Take your things and leave our village and never return. And if
know
you
what?
wish, you may
Should have
take
gone
the
to the
old,
cot then.
and if you wish, you may take the old man's remains with you. And he's like, right, come on, Hazel, we should get this over with. Get the rope. And they come back outside and fetch a long rope, tie it to a noose, and throw it over one of the rafters of one of the buildings.
I'm gonna leave and never take my eyes off of Marcus. I don't want to turn my back to him. Walk out backwards. if you have
I'm
to.
just gonna watch the old man hang because I want to make sure he's dead.
I'll
Aaron,
watch too. Yeah, just to see what happens.
so Aaron, they're going to hang you. Not so much just because of the magic stuff, but you're clearly like a danger to yourself and to others. And to them, this is the only reasonable way to remove that danger.
What we thought, I was only just raising an army of the dead.
What, sorry?
No poppycock, I was just raising an army of the dead.
So you admit to the crime of necromancy.
Save you all, because the barrier was going to break. Have you any of you ever checked or maintained the barrier since the Wizards of War came by?
We are not users of magic. Such things are forbidden here.
So how do any of you know about the barrier in the first place is not going to fail in the haunted? Have you ever thought of why the skeletons never came to attack your village before?
Well, sporadically they would attack us in the middle of the night.
Radically, they'd come and get the middle of the night. Have you ever wondered why none of them can actually get out there and the whole horde never came to destroy your village? Have you ever checked your town charter of the heroes Balder and his legendary of 4?
They're kind of murmuring and looking at each other. You're making them nervous now, bringing up things that they don't like to talk about. You want to give me a roll?
Just a normal roll or just anything particular?
Normal roll hidden depths, and if you've got anything socially.
Well, basically I've only got 1 dice because I've lost all my health things, so it would reduce any other dice.
Okay, so you will be rolling 2 dice and using the worst.
I have 3 dice total minus
Oh,
1.
3? Okay, so you're down to 1 dice. Okay, you've got 1 dice. You can push it to get a second.
It's fine, 1 dice to try.
You're going to go with the partial success. So the chieftain, again, he doesn't like the idea of killing an old man. Just full stop. Well, hang on, you've made a point. We have to do a proper investigation here. The man's life's at stake. So he goes inside and roots around for the old records kept in the chieftain's lodge. And a couple of hours pass before, he comes back out holding a big wad of papers. And he looks shaken and tired and stressed at this point himself. Well, what the old man says, there may be a grain of truth to it. These names are mentioned in the old records. The timelines might match up with the age of the man here himself. So perhaps we would be hasty to end his life if what you say is true.
Is there like a knife or something so I can just disembowel him right here?
Okay, so you want to investigate? Well, then ask him what happened in the tomb, then, and ask him why he was leading the army of the undead. Let's see what his answer is to that.
Waiting to take over the horde. I had to take over to the village to show them that the skeletons were going to break free. I never said anything I was going to destroy the village or anything like that. I was trying to bring them
Not to anyone but Marcus, you said
Not
that.
to anyone but Marcus, yeah.
So I guess everyone looks at Marcus because you were the one with him, Marcus, and you're like, is that true, Marcus?
As soon as we went to investigate the barrier to hopefully strengthen its hold upon the undead, the skeletons rose and we had to flee. But thankfully, we were able to stop them just in time for our good friend Edwin here is a hero and destroyed the artifact.
The men begin to argue amongst themselves because some clearly want him hung. Some of them want all of you hung. And but the chieftain himself is kind of resolute. And you can tell that he's tired of this whole affair at this point. I'm not going to sentence a man to death when there's this much doubt. And if he is one of those who initially bound the undead to the cemetery, I cannot in good faith execute him now. Especially given his current state of mind. No, he must leave with the others. All 4 of you are banished from this village. But you may take your things and go. I will not have the blood of these men on my hands. You don't have to go together, you don't have to stay together when you leave, but you must all leave.
Someone lets me down so I don't get hung here. That would be appreciated.
Grudgingly, take the noose off your neck. He just kind of shove you into the snow. You were quite badly injured, so you're obviously like limping away.
I'll go and get the dogs in the sleigh because fuck everybody else. What's if for Edwin? I guess you coming, Edwin, or you leaving with them? What's the plan?
I am not going near that crazy fucker.
All right, let's go. We got more places to hit to try and get more help, I suppose.
I wouldn't go too far, Jordan. It's not safe anywhere else. Even though the paths are obviously out here to the deeper region, or even what other magical secrets are out this way.
I just vote we go somewhere. We find somewhere that they can't cause a problem.
I mean, you don't need to type it, Jack, you can just say it.
No. Someone was like, "You just lost an army." I was like, "That was on his way to kill humans. I'm okay with losing that army."
So, Aaron, you're trying to appeal to them now, saying that they still need you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to them.
No.
I mean, every game, you're going to have to find either way to either make the characters stick together for some reason, or if you're going to abandon the 2 of them or whatever, you guys are going to like have to come up with other characters that aren't so conflicting within the cause of the party.
I'm fine with making another character if they want to split up.
Or kill you as soon as you leave the village.
I mean, I seriously considered snapping both of their necks in their sleep.
That was also my plan. The first chance I got was just taking a pickaxe to somebody's head.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't mind conflict in the party, but I think we're at the point now that at least one of the 2 of them like has to go in one way or another.
And no, technically we don't know that you guys are on your way to the story, the people, but crazy old man that knows magic and raising the dead, no thanks. And then a guy who killed people in cold blood.
From what you know about the 2 characters, it was pretty obvious what they were going to do. So I understand completely.
We have no evidence.
I mean, no matter what, the old man, you could see the old man as liability.
Yeah, like I don't blame the old man. He's crazy. Like he's crazy. It's not his fault. But yeah, I can't travel with that no more.
It could also just, I mean, they might not know the skeletons like whose side they were on, but just seeing a lineup of the undead it's something you haven't seen before. Something you're just like, no, that's scary. I'm not dealing with that.
And either way, you know Marcus is manipulating or attempting.
Oh, we all know
manipulate
Marcus is a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you lied right to their faces, and we knew you were lying. So I already don't trust you.
Yeah.
What I thought of dealing with the old man being a lifestyle is the fact that we may have other solutions to stopping the horde. Because I was right technically, but a zombie army.
So I mean, that's up to Edwin and Jordan if they have enough sympathy for Aaron to keep him around in case he's useful.
No.
But
No.
okay.
I'm confused anyway at this point.
Send the 2 of them packing or what? What is the solution when you leave the village?
I mean, I guess we would help, like, I don't know, give them what they needed to get back to the town, I suppose. I'm not just going to leave them to die as much as I want to.
I mean, you just had the extra sled and dogs, right?
Yeah. So we just give them one, we take the other, go our separate ways.
Sorry, Leland caught me up there. I missed everything. Sorry.
They are going to give you guys the other dog and sled and let you go back to the village or wherever you want to go, but they are not taking you 2 with them.
Fine, we can get another cat. We can make another character somewhere.
Yeah, the same. I'll write up a new character really quick.
Okay, so where do Marcus and Aaron go off to then? Do they go back to the village, or Marcus, you kind of taking charge and taking them somewhere else?
Oh, that depends. Does Aaron have any other ideas of where we can go to?
You've still got the skull. Technically,
You
you can
still
try
have the
and
skull,
repair it.
yes.
Yeah, I was gonna slip it to Marcus, or not to. I'm Marcus. I was gonna slip it to Aaron while he was asleep, see if it reawakened its power or something.
Alright, so
Yeah, it's
Marcus.
ours. We're coming up with our own way to try and save the village secretly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're going to go off. Well, I mean, Marcus isn't really trying to save the village, right?
Well, the village is the heart of Marcus's criminal empire, or it's at least where he bases out.
So you two are going to go off and do extremely dodgy necromancy stuff.
We're basically finding ways to try and take over. Not S3e the village.
I mean, save.
I will make a note of that.
Marcus and Aaron off doing shady stuff with necromancy.
Goes the old stupid in the mines. Needs dynamite. for it.
They will definitely not show up at the end and ruin everything.
Oh yeah, no. We should have killed them when we had the chance, but
They just make a way to Skullgir's hole and just end up finding all the people who died there trying to go inside.
Yes, so I'm going to say you two make up your characters then. It can either be from this village who decide to join the others. Maybe they like chase after them because they decide, if the gnolls are coming, somebody's got to try and help. Or you can be from the original village. They just kind of also kind of separately made their way out to kind of catch up with the others. But if you want to
Yeah,
make them
it's
up,
like
you just want to make them up for next time, and they can join them.
For next time.
Alright.
See, I just finally got leveled up when I got to Aaron as well.
You can apply the level up to your new character if you want. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, I'll do that then.
Yeah, just transfer that over. Same with like the gear and the supplies marked on it. Just transfer that over to the new character.
Except for the necromancer's skull up here, obviously.
Yeah, not the actual items that they have, but just the mark-offs.
Yeah. I'll just pick technically on the side I did it for traits, but I'll just pick maybe 2 traits instead of part of that.
Yeah. You can change the traits if you want. Just keep the number of them. That's fine.
We're going to do that for next time.
Okay, yes, we'll pick up next time when the new characters catch up with the old characters. Hey, did you guys just see Aaron and Marcus back there?
What the
I like me.
fuck?
What were they
You're
doing
right.
with all those strange people in hoods and cloaks?
I'm going to do an owlbear. What's the worst can happen if I come at an owlbear for the next character?
before we leave the village, can I go ahead and like mark that to get my supplies back?
Oh, yes, sure.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Usually, I mean, they're chucking you out of the village. I don't know if they're going to let you just restock. No, okay, yeah, you can mark that to refresh your gear and supplies if you want.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Suppose you're basically like throwing coin at them to buy stuff, and they're desperate for money.
Sure, that's one of the should have someone else do a wee tale before we finish it.
Well, nobody's making camp at the moment because it's still like daytime. So next time we'll probably do that at the start.
I just have one question before we go. Would Marcus's son had enough time to get to the northern outpost to get aid?
Not yet. No, it was like several weeks to get there. That was the problem. Like by the time you got there, it'd have been too late. So his son is like set off a few days earlier, but he won't be there yet.
Because I was thinking making my character like some kind of wandering knight from whatever empire the outpost is for. But if it's too late or it's too early for that, then
I mean, you can still do that. Maybe you were wandering night. Maybe you were wandering and your son came across them early.
I mean, you can be a knight that was on patrol. I mean, you could have it. The rest of the patrol were killed by bandits or wolves or whatever, and you're the one surviving one.
He was on patrol from the toll house, and he came back, and his four other squad members were missing.
Well, maybe you were on a different patrol that was out. They got killed. You're the one surviving member, and you're on your way back to the toll house now to regroup with the others. But then you bump into these guys, and they're like, "Oh no, they're dead."
Alright, that sounds good.
Yeah, that works.
Because I feel like no matter what, we need at least one person who's good at fighting.
Yes.
Allegedly,
think,
if the
Rob?
dice don't hate me, I can shoot an arrow.
Yes.
That depends on if Nuffle feels like letting you shoot an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that didn't go the way I thought it would, but I had a strong idea coming into this one that it was going to go somewhere along that way.
I'm surprised neither of them tried to kill Marcus.
I felt
I was going to. If we had to travel some more, I was going to kill you in your sleep.
you made a good like crit success roll that stopped your guy getting killed, and probably stopped both of them getting killed. So, yeah, that was interesting.
Things happen weirdly later in the future.
If I wasn't worried that this town would have also hung me, I would have walked up there and kicked the stool out from under the old man or whatever he was standing on to hang him and
Yeah,
myself.
just like, stop talking, old man.
But I was worried that if I did that, then I would get hanged next to him. So I was like,
I was planning on if they actually tried to hang him, I was gonna throw a dagger and hopefully cut the rope.
And then it'd be you against everyone else. Because Edwin and Jordan weren't going to help you.
Well, I was gonna try to stand behind one of them when I did it, and then run away.
Okay. That's probably just as well that didn't have to happen.
Yeah, make it seem like they're the ones who are trying to save him, even though they obviously don't like him.
But you see,
It's not natural survivor.
like people don't want to just instantly kill people to solve their problems. It's not what happens in real life.
I thought about yelling too slow and then like kicking him off the stage, like that Pirates Caribbean when he kicked her off the.
But that could
gangplank.
also raise suspicion in you then, because you're too quick to try to get
Exactly.
him off, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I was like, I'll just wait. Maybe, hopefully, he'll die.
Yeah. That was funny anyway, guys. We'll pick up next week.